Hello, clone troopers of VR chat. I have come to show you 3 tools that I have made in dev and want to show to you, the community. So, what is it I'm talking about? Let me show you. So, the first thing I want to show is the demolition charges and the radio plugs. The third tool I've also made is relevant to you desktop users, and hopefully it'll be a great asset for you. So, the first thing I want to show you is the demolition charge. Now, the idea for the demolition charge is quite simple. There is a transparent looking charge on the wall that represents where you can actually place it. And what all you have to do is, once you have the demolition charge in your hand, like so, they plant it. And once they plant it, it'll glow red or go red. This allows you to disarm, defuse, take your pick, and that will spend the charge. So you have to be careful of defending the area. They cannot put their hand through it, it's against the rules, but they shouldn't be able to because of collision with how VR chat works with hands. But if we was to go ahead and plant it for real, you will hear some ticking sounds for when it's planted, as well as the explosion. The idea for this is obviously, actually let's step back a bit, it's going to explode. So it's going to explode with kill particles, and it'll deal half damage. But once the explosion is done, as you just saw, it'll go boom, you'll hear it, and you'll be able to go through to the other side of where you've planted your charge. Now, next thing, radio plugs. Radio plugs. Nice fancy bit of kit. So, what's going on then? So, let's correct this. So, radio plugs. The idea for these radio plugs is, other than having people go to certain areas and just click a point, yeah, we've captured it, or generators, whatever you like to say, we're going to give a little bit more roleplay, as well as availability for devs. So, what happens is a team will go ahead and bring their plug, and they'll drop it into the computer. One thing I'll mention, just as shown there, make sure that you've lifted it high enough for latency to register that something's dropped. Because if it's not put in properly, even though that has been put in properly, it's because of how different people will see how tools have been placed. So unless you don't let it drop for everyone else to notice it's dropped, then yeah. But as you can see here, what happens is, you put the radio plug in, it'll go towards that side's respected HQ. So within the HQ, it'll then say establish connection, connecting, and then it'll establish connection. And as shown at the sides, it can represent a control point, it can be a teleporter, it could be any like crazy idea, you know, it could be even to open up doors, open a garage or armory for certain weapons. Really good piece of kit. And as you'd expect, if you can drop your radio packs in there, you have to look after them, because an enemy could walk up and be like, oh, look at this, yeah, they need this, well, I'm gonna make their life harder. They can just yeet, steal it, hide it, they can do whatever they want. So make sure that you keep a close eye on it and take it wherever you go. And just like them, they have their own respected radio plugs, so that they can connect to their HQ and they can achieve whatever it is they're trying to do with the computer. So, happy days. Let me show you the last thing on my list. So, one thing is that for you desktop users. Now, there is a button here, a blue button, which once come over, it'll then say desktop friendly captures. So, once you've pressed this, for desktops only, please, I have to say this, this is mainly for desktop users. For any of you VR users, please do not touch this button. Be a good sport, don't touch it. So, for you desktop users, you will see this collision on the floor. Basically, as you would expect, you're holding your weapon and you have to let go to capture points. Well, as shown here, the desktop will go into that area and it will capture the command point for them. And just like it feels on droids, if my assistant will step out, just pretend that they're a droid. In fact, they're probably going to switch into it. They will come back into the area and they'll recap it for their droid side. Of course, there will be I'm thinking of 2 buttons, but mainly it's good in, the timer for these are good enough for you to walk in, walk out, and you don't need to be around it again. But as to show that, I know that if I was walking, it'll happen because I pressed the button to make sure it all works. But yeah, everything works correctly. So, with all this, you might be expecting to see these in later updates and maps, or if the devs are willing, they might even take these props and put it into their own maps, such as the desktop button. I assure it's probably going to be quite popular, as well as the demo charges. But yes, I just wanted to show you guys that these are tools that I made, and they'll be coming up to the maps that you'll be playing on. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration.